Alright folks, this is a fun one. This isn't about trying to get you to click my links or anything. Well, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, that'd be awesome. But like, subscribe, comment, all that. This is to just build up my street cred. Copying the perfect bag because he might get a kick out of this brand. This fanny pack, tech pouch on the left is like the ancient pyramids. How the heck did they don't make this thing so cool? Because this thing is at least probably 30 years old, if not more. So I had it either in my late teens or early 20s, and I'm 51 now, almost 52. So this pouch is old. And the cool thing, it doesn't have that JanSport funk either. But what they did do is design the almost perfect tech pouch before they even knew what tech really was. This is the days of cassettes and Walkmans and just those like little radio things you carried around. But seriously, the big cassette Walkmans, for those that remember, you were cool if you had that like yellow Walkman. Or what I did is I listened to a lot of books on tape, and you crack it open and then you hit the potentiometer so you can up the speed on. It's kind of like 2x speed on YouTube. You could do that with your cassettes. So for those that didn't know, yeah, you could do that. It was pretty cool. And then I will throw in this probably 30-plus-year-old bag too. Good old JanSport fanny pack. So yeah, I was legit. So of course you got this really nice Tom Talk bag. You got a grab handle on the back, and of course you got the. Sorry, I didn't take the band-aids and the knife out. You'll see I had plenty of room for them and just some bags. You got some slip pockets here. You've got this open area where I was dumping some USBs. Didn't really have a nice place in here for these USBs, so Tom Talk, you might have dropped the ball. You might want to take some notes from this 30-year-old pouch. And then you had some elastic here. And then, of course, you had two slip pockets here and a pen loop. And that's it for pocketing. So now, let's get into this tech pouch. Is this like the tombs, the pyramids in ancient Egypt? Even though they think they know, based on the last expedition unknown, how they were built, do we really know how those things were built so much more precisely than buildings we have nowadays? No, we really don't. So, kind of like you watch Star Trek Next Gen, they were using iPads on there before we knew what an iPad was. Maybe that's where the idea came from. So, let's get into this thing. It's insane. So, of course, you got the belt or the strap on here. And here was, had a belt pass through, and then you had the hooks. This is where you had the lanyard, and it was nice. It was removable, and actually, so was the JanSport, to be fair. So, but what do I got here? No pockets on the outside. I do got a grab handle. I'll admit I don't have a grab handle here, but I do have this. So grab handle, I'll call it one. I'll give it even. But I've got a pocket on the outside. This is a full depth pocket. I haven't even fully filled this thing out. All right, so what do we got on the interior, you ask? So remember where I said I had to drop all those USBs in there and just let them roam loose? Well, look at this. Up here, I got this really nice shaky camera, mesh pocket, and I got my USBs. How convenient is that? All right, I got this in this little front slip pocket area here. I got another mesh pocket that's pretty much full depth here. Really nice. Of course, I haven't fully filled it out, but now what do cables. We didn't have charging stuff back then. We had AA batteries, and hope they worked, because they definitely weren't as good as the ones we had. Now, even the alkalines. So I've got my little fish thing here with some agates. And oh, wait a minute, you open this up, you got a full depth front pocket. So not only do you get the mesh pocket, you got a full depth here, kind of a slip pocket. And then look at this. Who would have thunk this way back when? You have organization in here. You have two slip pockets, and I had one, so I had my agates there, and then I got my cables. Wow, this is pretty damn impressive for a bag this old. All right, now it can't get better, right? It's just going to be old and crusty and lame on the inside, on the inner pocket, right? Guess again. So you got kind of your standard sling pockets here. You got this kind of open here. So I just threw in some. Yes, I still use corded headphones, but I have upgraded. So I no longer have a corded iPad. I have a Bluetooth adapter for said iPad. So I just dropped those in there. I could have dropped the knife. And what do we got back here? We have, I mean, we don't have elastics. So this thing wins on the elastics. But to be honest, this thing that's 30 plus years old has more thoughtful storage than what a tech pouch that I loved. Yes, you heard that, loved. Because I'm now kind of digging this pouch. So in back here, so not only did they do two slip pockets, they made one wider. Here, this one's wider. So my battery bank, you can still get these, but so I got a wider side. So if you got a wider battery bank, it'll fit there. And then I've got because this is ridiculous. So my USB-C charger is a USB-A cord. My lightning charger cord is a USB-C cord. So of course I gotta have in the narrower pocket, I have the two charging bricks. So let's be real here. Is this not the perfect tech pouch? I mean, does it? I don't know what could get better. Yeah, you could have a bigger one, but for a small tech pouch, does it really get any better than this 30-year-old Timberland fanny pack? I mean, and it kind of looks cool too. But I mean, everything's held. Nothing's gonna fall out. And oh, by the way, it's smaller. Huge win. Old man tech, awesome. But yeah, this is kind of, when I say I've been doing this for lots of years, I've been doing this for lots of years. I do want to show off this I did really love these. And this one, for whatever reason, I got rid of three other ones. I'm so at myself, but this one's so cool. I used these for years, and this last one I have is set up for fishing, but you have a slip pocket here. It's pretty basic sling or fanny pack, and just a slip pocket here. And of course, back then everything was the same. Not that this is any better, but well, actually no, it is. I refrain from that. It does have the gray lining. Everything was pretty much, you didn't have different color interiors back then, maybe on a bag or two, but it wasn't necessarily a design choice back then. And then back here, you just had your big old drop pocket. And I mean, you can see there's some loose stuff hanging in there, but I mean, the thing's 30 years old and it's got a ton of use. And then I just use PVC to hang lures on. And then I would have, I think back in the day, I had like a Husky Jerk box that would fit on top. That was just roughly the size to keep the lures from sticking into this. And who knows, maybe that's how that came loose. But I mean, this was one of my favorite JanSport fanny packs. But yeah, so not kidding when I said I've been doing this for a long time. B, some of these old fanny packs just kick ass. So I'd love to tell you where to go find this one. I don't know, maybe go to your local thrift shop or whatever antique store. You might get lucky and find one. Highly doubt it, but this sucker is going in my bag, and this is going to be my everyday tech pouch. Sorry, Tom Talk. Awesome products. Love your slings, love your gear, but Old Man Tech wins on this one. Take care. Hope you enjoyed this blast from the past. Have a good one.